Some really big news popped today with AMD and OpenAI. They have formed a new partnership. OpenAI is going to use the AMD semiconductor chips. They have also inked deals where OpenAI can acquire up to 10% stake in the company of AMD based on various parameters. I'm not going to go over all those details. You can search that deal and read those details because I'm not going to say I'm right anyways. But we are going to look at the AMD chart along with the NVIDIA chart and determine if those companies are a buy today. And we're going to look at two more other AI plays, which you may not be looking at, which I think are solid buys. But before we continue, I'm not professional. This is not financial advice. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm about to draw some lines on a screen, so don't do what I'm doing. This is just purely entertainment. But let's get into the chart. All right, so if you look at the AMD chart, at one point AMD was up like 35% today. AMD tagged the previous all-time high almost to the dollar. Let's see what they got up to. So AMD got up to 226.71. The previous all-time high was 227.30. So about 60 cents. Wow, about 60 cents short of the all-time high. As soon as it got to this all-time high, it dropped back down. I did add a share at around $205 today because AMD is coming up on that 0.886 retracement mark. And if you've watched my previous videos, what we've been noticing is when we take the swing high to the swing low, when a company starts recovering and doing well, they go up to this 0.886, retrace down a little bit, try to break through it, and then once they retest the all-time highs, then it is off to these higher extensions. This news from AMD was so strong that we see here AMD had gotten up to the 0.786, went back down, tried again, went back down to the 0.618, and then this time they just blasted through the 0.786 and 0.886. They didn't even touch the 0.886 and went straight to all-time highs. So I 100% expect this 886 point of $200 to be touched tomorrow, and then we'll see if that serves as support or if AMD breaks down further. I wouldn't be surprised if it broke down to this 185 mark, this previous high, and then found support here. If it does that, I will add to my position at that point. But AMD, super strong move. Would I buy right now? I mean, I did add a share, but again, depending on what AMD does tomorrow, if it finds support at this $200 mark, or if it drops down farther to 185 and finds support, I think right now it's probably a good idea to see where it finds support. But long term, obviously, AMD is going up based on both the fundamentals of the company and the technical analysis. So I would not be afraid to buy today, but it's always good to look for a good entry point. Let's look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA did what we just talked about. If you take the previous swing high to the swing low, look at where they found all that resistance at the 0.886. And then once they broke up, got to all-time highs, passed it, retested all-time highs, and now it's moving up to these higher targets. NVIDIA was down about 1% today based on this AMD news because it kind of weakens the AMD dominance argument. Our NVIDIA is still going to do fine. They're still the leader in the semiconductor AI space. AMD is obviously a great contender and growing, so there is room for both to do well. Looking at this now, NVIDIA did find support on this previous high, which was resistance, resistance, resistance. They broke through it, found support, went up, found support again. So I'm confident NVIDIA will go up from here to these levels. Will that be the top? We don't know. We're going to have to kind of wait and see. If you do want to start a position in NVIDIA today, I do think that's okay, but I wouldn't go all in and put your entire position in today. So when I say position, let's say someone wants to spend or put $1,000 in NVIDIA. I wouldn't put all 1,000 in today. I would start with a share or two, see what happens, and then add to your position based on the movement of the stock price. But NVIDIA is still looking strong, slightly below all-time highs. So again, they are not in a bad spot at all. Now, the two other companies I want to look at are TSM. Now, without TSM, the NVIDIA and AMD semiconductors would not be possible. TSM is the manufacturer for certain components of those microchips. So without TSM, we wouldn't have AMD and NVIDIA. Looking at this, let's take the retracement from this previous high to this low and see where we're at. As we can see, it followed that same pattern, got up to the 886, back down, retested all-time highs, and now they are going up. And TSM is very similar to NVIDIA, to where it's coming up on that 1.618 to 1.75. So it looks like there still is a little room for TSM to go up. Same advice I have for you about NVIDIA, I have for TSM. If you want to start a position, I think it is okay to start your position now, but don't go all in. TSM was up 3.5%. They were up higher at that one point based on the AMD news, but TSM is one of the big monopoly companies along with ASML. ASML produces the lithography machines that are used to create certain components of the microchips as well. So without TSM and ASML, again, AMD and NVIDIA would not be here. So we look at this chart. Now this, it looks promising. Look at where ASML found resistance, right at that 886. I might have to. I do have ASML in my Roth. I might have to add to it soon, based on the news and based on the fact of where it's holding resistance. Obviously, the next stop is retesting all-time highs, and then these higher targets are in order, which means ASML could be getting all the way up to around 1500. Super strong. 1, 2, 3. Maybe we'll see a small retracement. We'll see. There is a little gap. There are a few gaps. Not all gaps have to be filled, but it is always something to keep in mind. So we will see the price movement on ASML, but ASML has yet to retest all-time highs. NVIDIA and TSM are past the previous all-time high and have made all new highs. AMD is just now testing all-time highs, set to make all new highs in the future, and ASML has yet to retest all-time highs. So definitely take a look at these stocks. The AI growth continues to grow larger and larger. Obviously, you'll hear people say it's a bubble. As of now, it still looks like there is room to grow. So make good decisions. Don't go all in at all-time highs, but don't be afraid to start a new position. I think ASML has a great risk to return ratio right now. Again, it has yet to retest all-time highs, so I do feel like it has a lot of growth. I think I'm going to add to my ASML position this week, but I hope this gave you guys a little insight into what's happening with the charts. I kept this technical analysis very simple, just looking at support, resistance, and the Fibonacci retracement to give you an idea of where things are going. But that's it for today. We will see what tomorrow holds. I'm curious to see what the market will move like tomorrow. All eyes will be on AMD to see if price continues. I mean, once that all-time high was retested, price just went down. So we will see if that price continues to go back down and where it ends, or if it starts to pop back up. But that is it for today. Make good purchases. Let's keep building those portfolios.